Once upon a time, there was a medieval king who had risen to that position out of poverty and oppression. He rose up to that place, leader of his kingdom. He caused it to prosper and peace because he lived by and he built his kingdom on one principle, the rule of law. Therefore, the whim of the king could not rule. And so therefore, corruption was eliminated out of every layer of society, and the kingdom began to prosper beyond any of the small kingdoms around, all because he said the law was greater than him. And because of the way he lived and the way he ruled, everyone honored the principle. Then a dark day came. It was found that somebody was stealing from the king's treasury. They couldn't be found. The law said the king was to order 10 lashes for that thief, primarily to make the thief stop stealing, but it kept going. And so it said, order 20 lashes. And then it continued, still the perpetrator not found. And then so he ordered 40 lashes, essentially a death sentence, if the person was caught. The person was caught. And to the horror of everyone, it was the king's elderly mother. She had been pilfering. Even though now rich, she still feared the poverty of her past. And so she was stealing it and hiding it away. And everyone in the kingdom wondered what he would do. Would he love his mother so much that he would violate the sacred principle of the kingdom? Or would he honor the sacred principle and let his mother be put to death? Which? But he said the law must be honored or it has no meaning. The punishment must be carried out or there is no justice. And so the day came for the old woman to be punished, and she was taken to the public square and tied to a whipping post, and everyone in the small kingdom was gathered there to see what would happen. And the punisher stepped forward with his cat o' nine tails, about to make his first strike against her back, and suddenly the king from the back roared, "Wait!" And he made his way down to the public square, to the whipping post. And he tore his shirt off and he wrapped his body around his mother. And then he said, "Carry out the punishment." And he took the blows meant for his mother. And later that night, he died of his wounds. Listen, Jesus didn't just die for you. He died in your place. Isaiah 53, he was wounded for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace. And by his wounds, his scourging, we are healed. He died in your place for your sin. It's not impossible to understand why he did it. What is just and right before God has not been violated. Sin is punished. But his love for you is so overwhelming that Christ took it for you. And why? He died to make it possible for what Karen just read, what I just reread, to make peace with God. For you to have peace with God. His punishment was bringing you the possibility of gaining peace with the one who created you. And therefore, if you have peace with God, and if he's given you eternal life because of the death of Jesus, and if that life is forever and can't be taken away from you by any means, and if that life means ultimately that this sickness will go away, that ultimately my disappointments will be undone, that ultimately if the fears and bondages that badger me will ultimately be defeated, then there is nothing that defeats you. And so, yes, you can, because of the resurrection of Jesus, you can live with a settled joy even though you've been through a lot. You can live with a confident hope even though you've gone through so much.